Hours ago, Britain carried out the first return of a small boat migrant under the new UK-France immigration agreement. One man removed, flown back across the channel.
Migrants arriving via small boat will be detained and returned to France in short order. In exchange for every return, a different individual will be allowed to come here via a safe route, controlled and legal, subject to strict security checks, and only open to those who have not tried to enter the UK illegally.
But does this single case mark a turning point in UK immigration policy, or is it simply political theater? Behind the headlines lie the bigger questions about the UK asylum system, visa rules, indefinite leave to remain, ILR, and what this deal actually means for skilled worker visa holders, students, dependents, and families hoping for UK settlement. This is UK Immigration Express, and today we're diving deep into the first removal, the political promises, the legal fights, and the real stories on the ground in both Britain and France. If you're affected by UK visas or immigration changes in 2025, this could reshape your future. Before we get into it, make sure you like this video so YouTube shows it to more people who need these updates. Subscribe to UK Immigration Express and turn on notifications, because the immigration rules around UK work visas, student visas, skilled worker sponsorship, and ILR pathways are changing fast, and you don't want to miss a thing. So, what exactly happened? The UK confirmed that the first migrant who crossed the channel by small boat has now been returned to France. This happened under the one-in, one-out UK-France agreement signed between Prime Minister Keir Starmer and President Emmanuel Macron earlier this year. The system is meant to work like this. If someone enters the UK illegally by small boat and is considered inadmissible for asylum, Britain can return them to France. In exchange, for every individual sent back, the UK agrees to accept one person legally from France, prioritizing those with family ties in the UK. Officials say this is designed to cut the power of smugglers and encourage people to use legal UK visa routes instead. But here's the reality check. Within 24 hours of the first return, more than 1,000 people crossed the channel in a single day. That's one of the highest daily totals this year. In other words, while one person was put on a plane back to France, hundreds more arrived by boat at Dover. This raises a serious question. Will this agreement truly deter dangerous channel crossings, or will it simply shuffle paperwork between London and Paris? Let's talk about the real people involved. The first return was a man who arrived in the UK in August. Officials placed him on a commercial flight back to France. Soon after, at least two other individuals, one from Eritrea and another from Iran, were also returned under the deal. At the same time, another case was paused when a judge raised concerns about modern slavery and human trafficking protections. So even at the very beginning, we're seeing a mixed picture. Some removals go ahead, others are delayed by legal challenges. This reflects a long-standing tension in the UK asylum process between the government's push to enforce swift removals and the legal safeguards protecting vulnerable people. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. What happens once someone is returned to France? According to NGOs and French lawyers, returnees usually receive 3 days of emergency accommodation. After that, they're directed to CAIES intake centers, but many of those are already full. In Paris, a significant share of asylum seekers are left without accommodation. So, while the UK government frames France as a safe country, the on-the-ground reality is overcrowding, uncertainty, and long waiting periods. This could become a new legal battleground. Lawyers may argue that sending people back to France violates human rights obligations because many returnees may end up homeless. Meanwhile, in Westminster, the political messaging is fierce. The Home Secretary, Shabana Mahmood, described the first return as an important first step. Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy said the government would keep up the pace. Ministers argue that these removals show Britain is finally taking control of its borders. But critics, including opposition MPs and former ministers, call the numbers symbolic at best. With over 1,000 arrivals in a single day, they argue that a handful of returns won't shift the balance. To deter crossings, they say, removals must become routine, large-scale, and fast. So, how does this tie in to the bigger picture of UK visas, immigration policy, and settlement rules? The UK is currently overhauling multiple routes, from skilled worker visa thresholds and the immigration salary list to possible changes in the ILR qualifying period from 5 years to 10 years. Students face tighter rules on bringing dependents, while work visa holders must meet new sponsorship conditions. Against that backdrop, the government wants to show it is being tough on irregular migration. But experts warn, focusing too heavily on small boat crossings can overshadow critical reforms in UK visa sponsorship, family reunion visas, asylum procedures, and citizenship pathways. So, what happens next under this UK-France pilot? The deal is scheduled to run until June 2026. Over the next year, expect the government to speed up inadmissibility decisions so more small boat cases can be processed quickly, batch removals into larger flights rather than single passengers on commercial planes, publish metrics, number of returns completed, number of people admitted from France, and the average time from arrival to removal. At the same time, we can expect reforms to modern slavery laws, with ministers arguing these protections are being misused to delay removals. But let's bring this home. What does this mean for you if you're watching right now? If you're in France and considering the small boat route, the risk of immediate return is now real. Legal advice is essential. If you have family in the UK and are in France, there may now be a legal admission pathway under the deal, but only through official application, not illegal crossing. If you're on a skilled worker visa, student visa, or dependent visa, this agreement doesn't affect you directly, but the government's focus on irregular migration often leads to tighter compliance checks on all visa routes, so keep your documents in order. If you're on the path to ILR or British citizenship, watch carefully. Policy changes aimed at small boat deterrence can ripple into settlement rules and immigration timelines. So here we are. The first removal under the UK-France deal is done. 2 more followed. But the bigger question is one of scale. Will the UK be able to return hundreds each week, or will this remain symbolic? 1 person here, 1 person there, while thousands still arrive. For families waiting in France, will the legal admissions route actually work, or will it become another bottleneck? And for Britain, will this policy genuinely reshape UK immigration and visa rules, or is it simply another short-term headline in a long-running political battle? I want to hear your view. Will the one-in, one-out returns deal work if the numbers stay small? Or will smugglers continue to thrive while the legal system clogs up with appeals? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all. And if you found this breakdown useful, hit like so others see it too, and subscribe to UK Immigration Express for verified updates on UK visas, ILR, skilled worker changes, student visas, and the latest immigration rules. Because one return flight might not change much, but the next 12 months could reshape the future of UK immigration for everyone.